waking to a world that feels unnaturally still. You step outside and something is fundamentally, impossibly wrong. Nothing moves. Leaves hang frozen in place. Smoke rises straight upward and stalls, forming a vertical line that refuses to drift. Clouds remain suspended as if painted onto the sky, their edges sharp and unmoving. Within the first moments, atmospheric monitoring stations confirm a measurable shock. Global air circulation has dropped to zero. Wind is gone. The air feels heavier, not because it presses down, but because it no longer goes anywhere. Heat lingers. Sound carries farther than it should. The planet feels sealed, as if wrapped in invisible glass. Earth remains intact, but the motion that once allowed it to breathe has vanished. Immediate impact first hours. In the first hours, the absence of wind announces itself through discomfort rather than destruction. Air stops mixing. Warm air stays exactly where it forms. Cool air remains trapped in shaded pockets and low spaces. The gentle blending that once softened temperature differences disappears. Standing in sunlight feels immediately oppressive. Stepping into shade feels abruptly cold. Breathing changes subtly. Exhaled air lingers. Carbon dioxide does not disperse efficiently. In enclosed spaces and valleys, air quality begins to decline. The change is slight, but noticeable. Headaches appear. Fatigue arrives earlier than expected. Fire behaves differently. Smoke rises straight upward and then stalls, forming thick vertical columns that do not move away from their source. Visibility drops around even small flames. Firefighters struggle because smoke no longer reveals wind direction or fire behavior. The first ecological failures occur quietly. Pollen released from plants remains close to its origin. Seeds that once traveled on air currents fall directly beneath parent plants. Spores fail to spread across landscapes. Genetic exchange slows across entire regions. Animals sense the change instinctively. Birds alter flight patterns, finding no lateral air movement to assist them. Insects that once relied on wind to migrate or disperse become confined to narrow areas. Many fail to reach breeding grounds or food sources. The world has not stopped, but it has lost its circulation. Within days, the absence of wind begins reshaping systems that depended on motion. Weather stalls. Clouds still form, but they no longer travel. One region remains locked beneath cloud cover, receiving constant shade and humidity. Nearby areas bake under uninterrupted sunlight. Rain, when it occurs, becomes localized and repetitive. soaking the same ground while leaving surrounding regions dry. Peat builds unevenly, without wind to redistribute warmth. Cities develop severe temperature layering. Hot air accumulates above streets and rooftops. Cooler air settles near the ground at night and fails to rise. The release of heat never arrives. Pollution becomes visible. Exhaust gases, industrial emissions, and fine particulates remain suspended where they are released. Smog thickens over cities and valleys. Air quality warnings become permanent features of daily life. In one apartment, windows are opened in search of relief. None arrives. The air inside grows stale. Fans move air in circles, but without external circulation, heat and contaminants remain trapped. Sleep becomes shallow. Concentration fades. Oceans begin responding more slowly. Surface waters, normally mixed by wind, remain stratified. Warm layers sit above cooler depths without blending. Nutrient exchange slows. Phytoplankton growth becomes uneven and unstable. This disruption matters deeply. Plankton form the foundation of marine food webs and contribute significantly to oxygen production. When their distribution falters, everything above them weakens. The absence of wind is no longer subtle, it is structural. System failure first weeks pass, and the planet begins to feel fragile. Large-scale atmospheric patterns collapse. Jet streams lose definition. Storm systems no longer migrate. Regions that once depended on predictable air movement experience prolonged drought or persistent humidity. Agriculture suffers quietly. Crops overheat without cooling breezes. Moisture clings to leaves, encouraging fungal disease. Wind-pollinated plants fail to reproduce effectively. Yields decline unevenly, making planning unreliable. Wildfires change character. Without wind, fires spread more slowly, but they burn hotter and longer. Smoke does not disperse, creating suffocating conditions around burn zones. Fire suppression becomes dangerous as visibility drops and oxygen behaves unpredictably around flames. The ocean crisis deepens. Without wind-driven mixing, oxygen levels decline near the surface in some regions. Dead zones expand. Fish migrate or die. Coral systems weaken as warm surface water remains trapped above them. Recovery proves difficult. Wind is not a machine that can be restarted. It emerges from planetary rotation, interacting with temperature differences across the atmosphere. When circulation stops completely, restoring it would require redistributing energy across the entire planet. Human infrastructure strains. Cooling systems rely on convection. Pollution management assumes dispersal. Wind energy disappears instantly. Cities become pockets of stagnant atmosphere. Respiratory illness rises. People adapt routines. Movement shifts to early mornings and late nights. Outdoor activity declines. The planet begins to feel enclosed. Months into a windless Earth, adaptation becomes deliberate. Architecture changes. Buildings are redesigned to force airflow mechanically. Vertical shafts and controlled ventilation systems become essential. Outdoor spaces are shaded and partially enclosed to manage heat and air stagnation. Agriculture adapts where possible. Greenhouses replace open fields in many regions. Crops selected for heat tolerance dominate. Wind-pollinated species vanish from large areas. Insect pollination becomes more important and more fragile. Ecosystems simplify. Plants that relied on wind for reproduction fail to spread. Species ranges shrink. Forest composition shifts as some trees stop regenerating. Grasslands fragment. Biodiversity declines steadily. What collapses permanently is atmospheric resilience. Without wind, the planet loses its ability to equalize conditions. Extremes stabilize into permanent states. Microclimates dominate where regional patterns once existed. Human behavior adjusts. Air quality is monitored constantly. Masks return, not for disease, but for survival in stagnant zones. Cities redesign life around ventilation, corridors, and controlled airflow. The sky looks unchanged, but it no longer moves. Decades later, Earth settles into an unnatural stillness. The planet has not died, but it feels closed. Weather exists in place rather than in motion. Regions become locked into persistent conditions. Some remain perpetually hot, others remain permanently humid or cold. Oceans remain layered and fragile. Marine life is reduced. Food webs shorten. Oxygen production becomes uneven and localized. Humanity persists, reshaped. Cities are smaller and more controlled. Ventilation becomes as critical as water. Entire professions exist solely to manage airflow. Children grow up in a world where flags do not move and leaves do not whisper. Wind becomes an abstract idea taught through recordings and descriptions. Motion still exists, but the planet no longer carries it. One truth remains. Wind was never just movement. It was circulation. It was balance. It was the breath of the planet. Earth did not collapse. It adapted. And in that stillness, Life learned how much motion it once depended on.